Aiko sat at her kitchen table in Tokyo, the evening light spilling across the pages of her notebook. This wasn't just any notebook. It was her Kakeibo, the household ledger that had guided Japanese families for more than a century. For Aiko, it was more than paper and ink. It was a mirror reflecting her choices, her discipline, and her dreams. The tradition of Kakeibo began in 1904 when Motoko Hani, Japan's first female journalist, introduced it in a women's magazine. At the time, Japan was undergoing rapid modernization. The Meiji era had opened the country to Western ideas, industries were expanding, and households were adjusting to new economic pressures. Families needed a way to manage money in this changing world. Hani believed that women, who often managed household finances, deserved a practical tool to bring clarity and control. She designed Kakeibo not as a strict budget, but as a mindful practice. Write down income, track expenses, set savings goals, and reflect at the end of each month. This cultural context mattered. In early 20th century Japan, thrift and discipline were seen as virtues that supported both family stability and national progress. Kakeibo fit perfectly into this mindset. It wasn't just about saving yen. It was about building resilience in a society balancing tradition and modernity. At the start of every month, Aiko followed the same ritual that Hani had envisioned more than a century earlier. She wrote down her income. She listed her fixed expenses, rent, utilities, transport. Then she set her savings goal, circling it in bold ink. That number wasn't just money. It was hope. It was the trip she wanted to take, the emergency she wanted to prepare for, the future she wanted to secure. But Kakeibo wasn't only about recording numbers. It was about asking questions. Each expense had to be placed into one of four categories: needs, wants, culture, or unexpected. Needs were the essentials: food, rent, bills. Wants were the extras: clothes, gadgets, treats. Culture included books, movies, concerts, the things that fed the mind. Unexpected covered surprises, medical bills, repairs, sudden obligations. Every night, Aiko wrote down what she had spent. A train ticket, a bowl of ramen, a new book. Each entry forced her to pause. Did she really need it? Was it worth it? That pause slowed her down, made her conscious. In a world of fast transactions and invisible digital payments, Kakeibo made spending visible. At the end of the month, she reviewed the pages. She compared her savings goal with the reality. Sometimes she succeeded. Sometimes she fell short. But every time, she learned. She asked herself, where did I overspend? What can I change? How can I do better next month? This reflection was the heart of Kakeibo. It wasn't about guilt. It was about awareness. By seeing her habits clearly, Aiko could adjust them. She noticed patterns: too many small snacks, too many impulse buys. She realized that cutting just a few unnecessary expenses could bring her closer to her savings goal. And here's where the numbers speak. Studies show that devotees of Kakeibo often save up to 35% of their monthly expenses. That's not a small margin. It's the difference between scraping by and building a cushion. For Aiko, this meant she could set aside nearly a third of her income for savings, travel, or emergencies. Kakeibo gave her control. It turned money from something abstract into something tangible. It wasn't just numbers in a bank account. It was choices written in her own hand. And that act of writing mattered. Studies show that writing things down engages the brain differently than typing. It makes information stick. For Aiko, writing her expenses made her spending real. Over time, she saw results. Her savings grew. Not dramatically, but steadily. Month after month, the small changes added up. She cooked more meals at home. She delayed buying clothes she didn't need. She set aside money for emergencies. And she felt lighter, not deprived, but empowered. One evening, her friend Yumi asked, "Isn't it tiring to write everything down?" Aiko smiled. "It's not tiring. It's calming. It's like talking to myself. Every entry is a conversation. Do I need this? Do I want this? Can I wait?" That was the secret. Kakeibo wasn't just a budget. It was mindfulness. It turned saving into a daily practice, like meditation. It taught patience, discipline, and gratitude. Families who practiced Kakeibo often cut expenses by nearly a third, not because they restricted joy, but because they learned to spend with intention. For Aiko, the notebook became a symbol. Each page carried her story, the meals she cooked, the books she read, the choices she made. It wasn't perfect. There were months of overspending, moments of weakness. But perfection wasn't the goal. Awareness was. And that awareness changed her relationship with money. She no longer saw saving as sacrifice. She saw it as freedom. Freedom to plan, freedom to dream, freedom to live without fear. And that's the quiet power of Kakeibo, a simple notebook that can change the way you see money. If this story inspired you, don't let it stop here. Tap subscribe to join me for more journeys into cultural wisdom and everyday habits that transform lives. Hit like if you're ready to try Kakeibo yourself, and share this video with your friends, family members, and especially children who could use a little mindful saving. Keep watching, and let's walk this path to financial freedom together.